Joining me now is Democratic Congressman Brad Sherman of California. He introduced articles of impeachment against President Trump back in 2017. Congressman, thanks for joining us. Speaker Pelosi is arguing, quote, impeachment is so divisive to the country that unless there's something so compelling and overwhelming and bipartisan, I don't think we should go down that path, unquote. You disagree. Why?
Well, first, he met the legal standard. He's committed several felonies. Including violation of 1512b3 of the criminal code, obstruction of justice on at least 2 occasions, probably 3, and that's just in his first 6 months.
All right, well, that's your opinion, but no legal source, no legal entity has said that he is guilty of obstruction of justice.
No legal entity has said to the contrary, and in fact, there are numerous scholarly articles that take a look at what he did on the record, compare it to the code and say this is a violation of the code. But the question isn't just whether he violated the legal standard. The question is, do we have the political support? Now, I was part of starting the ball rolling in terms of talking about impeachment. And if we hadn't talked about impeachment, imagine what this president would have done if he thought he was immune. He certainly would have fired Mueller. He certainly would have done God knows what. Right, has crossed his mind. So we need to go down the road part of the way and talk about impeachment. But we're not going to remove him from office until we get more public support. And that probably isn't going to happen until we develop more facts. That's one of the reasons we need to investigate.
Well, you called for impeaching him in 2017, so you're way ahead of the idea that you need to have more facts, right?
You don't have to wait till you know every felony the president has committed.
Sir, with all due respect, you keep saying that he's committed felonies. There's not one legal entity that has said he committed felonies, and saying
there's not one legal entity that said that his firing of Comey was not a violation of 1512b3.
That's not how the law works. Well, I mean, it doesn't work like, well, I say there needs to be a legal finding, and you say, well, there isn't a legal finding that he didn't do the crime.
There's no body other than the House of Representatives that can make that. You can't say, well, the courts determined that he didn't. You can't say that the courts determined he did. The courts will not have jurisdiction. Only the House of Representatives has jurisdiction. And the last Congress wouldn't give it serious consideration and wouldn't even develop the facts. Now we're doing the investigation. That may develop enough facts not only to show that he's violated the law, but to generate the public support for going forward with removal. And until we have much more public support, we're not going to be able to remove him from office.
Well, that's certainly true, because there is public support for investigating the president, but there is not public support at all, even close, to impeaching him or removing him from office.
We're at 50% in some of the polls.